What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Let me just make sure all the audio, visual, everything is working. Okay, it looks like it is. Throw a one in chat if everything's working as it's supposed to, because we all know technology makes things easier, but it sometimes makes things difficult when plugins update and this and that. You go to start a task, it should take 10 minutes, and 2 hours later, you're still trying to fix your computer. It happens often for me for some reason. I don't know why, but how you doing? How you feeling? Welcome to the BitLab Academy daily live stream. We do Monday through Friday, typically 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. Today we're starting a little bit later. Had a lot of stuff going on this morning. I just didn't want to rush into starting when I was sorting out some of those things I was just talking about. So with that being said, my name's Kellam. Welcome to the BitLab daily stream. If this is your first time, I can guarantee you it's not going to be your last time. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that bell. Let us know that you are interested in crypto. Let's YouTube know that you're interested in crypto content as well, which helps push the entire ecosystem forward. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe, ding that bell. We are, we're up to almost 7,600 now since the beginning of this year. We're just flying on building our community here, because none of you are followers. We are all in this together. We are working together to grow our knowledge base. I share a lot of experiences, a lot of tools, a lot of tips, a lot of tricks, a lot of alpha, trying to throw that rope back to the beginners to pull them along as well, bridging that gap from beginner to pro. So if there's something you don't understand, it's okay. Ask a question in the live chat here. Ask a question in the comments down below. Get involved on BitLab Academy. Check out all the resources we have and just get involved with our community here. If you haven't yet, why is this not coming up? If you haven't yet, make sure you head over to BitLab Academy page right here, the YouTube page, youtube.com/@BitLab Academy, or just search BitLab Academy. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, joining us here in our community. And for anybody that's newer or hasn't explored this yet, come down, scroll down just a little bit when you're on this home page right here. Scroll down just a little bit. You can see right here, the daily alpha. All these videos that are in this playlist are meant to be evergreen. So it doesn't matter what the price is doing today versus what was on those streams. This is about tools and strategies, how to use TradingView, finding 100Xs, indicator breakdown, how to find reversals, breakdown of what's going on with the banks and Bitcoin, and a lot of very macro stuff. Check out the resources. Again, we talk about this regularly on this channel. I'm happy to help as much as I can, but your success is going to come down to whether or not you are ambitiously curious. If you want to learn and you want to really dig into the nitty-gritty of anything new, it comes down to your ability to go out and seek out the information. Now, we put a lot of that information together in a full curated online education platform on bitlabacademy.com. So if you haven't checked that out yet, I'm going to go ahead and exit that. If you haven't checked out BitLab Academy, definitely check that out. I am going to be turning off the coupon code that is GIVEME30, which is 30% off the All Access Pass. And that's right over here, bitlabacademy.com. If you haven't checked it out, I don't know what you're doing. We got a great premium Discord with a lot of interactivity in there, as well as we have all these different courses. If we see right here, all these courses that, of course, you can learn a lot here on YouTube. We give a lot of free stuff away here on the daily streams, as well as the other channels you follow. But here we break things down all the way from the most basic stuff, and this stuff is all free, all the way through trading fundamentals, psychology of trading, on-chain data analysis. This is 20 lessons. I think this one's 20 lessons as well. We're currently been recording a bunch of stuff to add to all this stuff as well. Candles, candle patterns, indicators, trading strategy. And this indicator thing is everything from RSIs, stochastics, Bollinger Bands, volume. It's all the stuff you need to understand. So when you do take some sort of, when you do become a member of any sort of paid indicator, whether it's ours or Market Cipher or anything, you can understand what it is that it's weighing, so you can really understand how to navigate these markets. So I just wanted to shout that out. And again, when you come here to BitLab Academy, you can click on one of these links right here. You can click here, or you can come down, or you can come down here and click any of these buttons. Or here, it's all going to take you to the same page, which is this page right here. And you could sign up for the indicators, the courses, and the premium Discord, everything all bundled together, where you get it's a little over 30% discount monthly, on a monthly basis, So we want to make sure people spending less than $100 on everything. Or you can just come right here. If you're just getting started, you really want to break down the beginning basics, or friends and family, get them to sign up for free right here. It's just really understanding the core elements of what Bitcoin is, what blockchain is, and then a bunch of the intro sort of content in the crypto beginners course, all free. Or you can just sign up for the all access, which is right here. And if you sign up for this, it's give me 30, it's 30% off. Now, not shilling to you this whole stream. We're going to be breaking down a lot of stuff going on in these markets. So before we do that, make sure you're coming over here to my page right here, Kelly Kellam. Look for the blue check. Look for the hit logo right here. Give me a follow. And then, of course, come over here to the BitLab Academy page. Make sure you're following at Academy BitLab. Look for the gold check and the hit logo. And come here, hit this retweet, hit this like button. You'll be entered to win. This may be our last giveaway for a while. I'm not sure yet. This week. So everybody get involved, hit this retweet, hit this like, make sure you're following BitLab Academy. Now, what are we going to be talking about today? Today is no different than any other day that we've done a stream. We've got a lot of very, very bearish signals, while at the same time, we've got some indications that institutions are buying in droves, while at the same time, it looks like miners are moving a lot of their coin, in terms of the relationship of what's been happening lately, a huge increase in the amount of coins moving from Bitcoin miner wallets to exchange. What do we know about coins moving from private storage, whether it's personal coins or miners coins? What do we know? What can we infer about coins moving from private holdings to an exchange? Well, what do you do on exchange? You trade. So is there an indication that miners are preparing to hedge themselves? Are they just being in position if they need to sell? Are they planning on selling? Well, we're going to talk about that, because we're also seeing, as I said, at the same time, institutions buying. The other thing we have to consider with all this on-chain data is people are becoming more and more aware of this. So are we going to see certain behaviors happen on-chain that are manipulative in nature, meaning people do stuff because they know for instance, if miners know that if they move a bunch of coins to exchange, people are going to see that, and it's going to cause some panic and maybe a potential sell-off. Is that something that we could be looking for? Well, all of it's speculative, so we need to dive into this. So before we dive into these charts, so we got a couple of news articles we're going to kind of, I don't want to say glaze over, but we're going to dive into briefly, and we're going to look at a bunch of charts today as well. Is XRP coming to a settlement, or is it going to be a market crushing judgment? That's something we have to consider as well. But before we dive into all this, shout out to everybody here in chat, the family. Got Crypto Kid, Rafiq Gaffour, Sawtooth Hiker, I'm George 2, Alexander G, Justin Eubanks, unforgettable name, all the regulars already early on in this chat. Total Clinic Solutions, Gia S, how you doing? Crypto 420, Crimson Caravan Company, Alexander G, one of our most helpful mods out there. I appreciate you so much. I hope that you all the mods that we sent you all out merch, I hope you all got that. Mellow Fellow, who else we got in here? Jake Mueller. I saw Brad Guidell in here as well. Is closer to the Ricky Sebastian Sanchez, Zeus Cash. Who else we got? Nakuda the Gamer. Nakuda, what's up? I like how you put the gamer, because as soon as I saw that, it made me think of Hit Network Gaming. Mike Volmer. Who else we got? Learning, always in the house. Mike Volmer is always in the house too. Who else we got? We got everybody in here. So big love to everybody. I'm going to go ahead and say Brad Guidell again. Dano, Crypto, what's up? Yeah, let's get you back on here and stream here sometime in the next couple weeks. Karen Swigart Harris, how you doing? And just so anybody knows, I will say this, I'll call myself out. The reason we did not do an AMA this last week, we had an issue on Wednesday. Then Thursday, basically, since I moved here last week, I've been scrambling trying to find a place to live, because right now I'm homeless, baby. I'm homeless. I've been living, not really, but I've been living in the basement at TJ's dad's house. And I just been scrambling trying to find a spot to live, because I moved down here, and it's been hectically frustrating just because some of the stuff. But I got a couple applications out. I'm waiting to hear back. So when I get, hopefully, I'm really hoping to get a spot this Friday. I have an application in, and they indicated that it's, I should get it. My income is more than enough for that spot. And I'm getting an apartment for a year or so. And then I don't want to just buy something right out, just moving here. And I got to get a feel for the spot. I got to court the city. I got to figure out what's going on before I pick a neighborhood that I'm going to plant some roots buying a house. But I will do an AMA this week for sure. Karen Swigart Harris. I know, I remember last week that you had an issue with the Thursday time period, but we will make sure that happens. Big love to everybody. How you feeling? Are you buying or selling? Everybody in the chat, the last action you took on exchange, put buy or sell, and it's not going to indicate that you're bullish or bearish. So I'm just curious. I want to get a little pulse here of how people, what you're doing. So yeah, we're going to, Mike Vollmer he's censoring himself. He retracted his own message. Must have been an incredibly positive message, but all right, it's 10:26. We started a little late. It's time to get going. Let's dive into what's going on in the charts. Well, one of the things, actually, let me move this over here. Boom. Give me 1 second. Okay. Nope. There we go. Now I want to go. Okay. So first things first, let's take a look at the chart. Nothing's changed. What do I mean? Nothing's changed. What I'm saying here is, look at this. We are in this falling channel here. Falling channel that's kind of, let me double click here. Double click here. We see we've got this rising wedge. That's also it's got a rising wedge with the falling channel. We've been looking at this for some time. Now what has changed? Price is just chopping around. Not only has nothing changed, we are in this falling channel. And as it stands, look at this right here. We are at the same price we were May 12th. So over a month ago, we've basically been trading, if you think about it, we've been trading sideways in a range. So everybody wants to think, oh, we're going up. We're going back up to the moon because we moved up a couple percent. Then we go sideways and we drop. Oh, we're going to crash all the way down. Oh, my God. And then we bounce. We push up just a little bit higher, find the top side of this range. Then we crash. Oh, my God, it's going to go all the way down to $8,000. No, find support. This is just, look at this. If we take a parallel channel here, where's parallel channel? Here. Look at this. Now, on this parallel channel, yeah, we have a little bit of an outlier here, boom, but look at this, rejection, 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 bottom side, 1, 2, 3. This is going to be, not a full-on accurate parallel channel, but the point here is that this is trading basically sideways with some fake outs to the upside and some fake outs to the downside. So what has changed? Nothing. So if anybody's feeling frustrated, oh my God, it's doing this or that, look, it's doing nothing. We are within a range, both this pattern, and now this sort of parallel channel to the side. We're in 3 different ranges at the same time that are, nothing's happening here. We have a lot of support below us. So what I'm looking for to make what I'm looking for in terms of price action is if and when price action breaks above this zone. And look at this. We have this massive cross right here between this level here that we got rejected off 1, 2, 3. Are we going to get rejected here? Are we going to break out, find support, and continue up? Are we going to either get rejected here or from here, lose this level, come down to this? Are we going to lose here at 25.5? The next question is going to be this level here, 24.8, and then right below it, the bottom side of this channel right here, 24.5. These 3 levels below us, we have these blocks here. We got this here, all this zone. This is where I start looking for price potentially going lower, is if we lose the bottom side of this falling channel right here. If we lose this level, then I'll be looking down, the 23.5 zone here, and then potentially down here into the 22.5. But as it stands, nothing has happened. So let's look at the news, and we're going to come back. We're going to do a bunch of TA here in just a bit. We're going to look at Bitcoin. We'll look at XRP. We're going to look at Cardano. And then everybody in chat, put in one coin other than those, ETH as well, Bitcoin, ETH, Cardano, XRP. Other than those four, everybody put in one altcoin that you'd like to see, and the mods will see what's going to be the most sort of common 2 or 3 other coins, and we will make sure to do TA on those. We're gonna, as we're getting to that, we need to talk about some context in the market. It is, coming up on the 3rd week of June, right? So let's actually look at the news, and we'll come back to the charts. So this is what I want to look at first. So Bitcoin breaking, Binance officially exits UK after the Netherlands and Cyprus. So this is, we have Binance out of the US, which has been a while now. Of course, then they had to open up Binance.us. But now we have all this sort of pressure on the market because of all these allegations and charges brought forward by Gary Gensler, the scam artist himself. Got to have my morning coffee. And then now that, they've exited Netherlands, they've exited Cyprus, they've exited UK. So this is worth, just being aware of. We don't need to go into this article. It's just worth being aware of. There's pressures not just in the US. There's pressures in various jurisdictions globally about their stance on Bitcoin and digital assets. So let's go ahead and look here. BlackRock urges urgent approval for Bitcoin spot ETF from SEC. Now, this is important because BlackRock, as we all know, maybe you don't, BlackRock has, let's look at this. BlackRock AUM means assets under management. So $9 trillion. BlackRock holds under management, meaning how much money that is in BlackRock from, they have a lot of different investments and a lot of people that, a lot of companies they own, a lot of exposure to, the entire global market. They're the biggest, they're massive. The CEO could arguably be more powerful than most sovereign nation leaders because of how much capital he controls. Okay. And so when you see something like this, BlackRock urges approval for Bitcoin spot ETF from the SEC. BlackRock has a little bit different. BlackRock has a little bit different of a weight. And I don't mean weight like you're waiting on something. I mean weight like heaviness, gravitas, connections in probably any government around the world, but especially the US. I'm sure that they fund a lot of different lobbying and a lot of different super PACs and a lot of different politicians. And this company is connected. And so they're urging for Bitcoin spot ETF. Now, is this going to be something that's going to happen? I don't know. But, Grayscale has been denied several times. And, we're seeing all this come to a head with the SEC having all of these cases that they're bringing forth towards Binance, towards Coinbase. They're in the midst of potentially coming up on something, wrapping up at some point in the near future with the XRP case. I just want to, okay. Thank you, Brad Guidell. He just sent me some of the coins that we're going to be doing. But this is just important because we have all these things coming to a head with all these various exchange issues, coin issues, securities, allegation, all this stuff. And, is Bitcoin going to be something that is going to, it's already risen above because it's got the largest market cap, but is it going to be something that sort of sifts through the fire in the digital asset ecosystem right now and get some sort of regulatory nod from the government? And sort of see a lot of liquidity pour into it because it gets more regulatory clarity while everything else is getting tighter regulatory clarity. Not only is it already somewhat the safest because of how large a market cap is and how much, how globally distributed it is and decentralized, but if they get an ETF as well and it creates a real pathway for pension funds, sovereign funds, for traditional asset exposure in this meaningful way, real ETF, not a sort of pseudo ETF like Grayscale is currently, then we can see a lot of capital flooding into BlackRock in the near future. So we want to pay attention to this. Right now, everything's speculation. So I just wanted to highlight this as we are navigating through what we think is going on in the markets. Now, I just want to make sure. Why is my audio always okay? There we go. This is something I want to look at in a second. I'm actually going to go like this. Now, my ear, got a bug in my ear. Okay. This is something we got to pay attention to. XRP case is tied so heavily with the consideration of what's going to happen with Coinbase and Binance. Former SEC director says judgment on Ripple versus SEC lawsuit to come within days. So this is obviously... the narrative is pushing hope, or it's at least putting this in the title to stimulate this sort of hope. But the question about this is, there's so much that's riding on this because the Coinbase case, for instance, has a lot of different assets. Cardano. I mean, you all know the list. We've gone over it for the last couple of weeks. But the Coinbase case is almost entirely, not entirely, but almost entirely based on what is a security, what is not. What is the rule book? And with XRP judgment that's already been, with XRP case that's already been in process for the last, over 2 years, almost going on 3 years, I believe. What happens in this case could either provide legal precedents to undercut some of the legal cases coming against Coinbase from the SEC, or it's going to, put the metaphorical nail on the coffin. And it's almost like this is going to be the Groundhog Day right here. The XRP case, if this settlement or judgment that is negative, one or the other, positive or negative, comes in, the coming, 2 weeks to, a week to 6 months, whenever it is. Obviously, it's going to precede likely what's going to happen in a resolution of the Coinbase case. And there's so much riding on what this judgment is because it comes in very negative. And we've seen the Hinman documents, but there's a lot of sort of dark clouds around that based on potential bribes or there's just so much going on in all this. If the XRP case comes in with a negative, leaning in the negative sort of realm, it's going to undercut the ability to have positive legal positive legal precedents to support a positive resolution to a Coinbase case. This comes in positive, then it may actually get to a point where, there's a very quick resolution to the Coinbase case. So we need to pay attention to this. Now, why does he say this? The SEC Ripple case, which has dragged on for over 2 years now, may be coming to an end soon. Mark Fagel, the former regional director of the SEC's San Francisco regional office, expects a judge to issue a ruling in the XRP lawsuit in the coming days. Coming days, he's saying. Fagel was responding to an XRP enthusiast who suggested in a tweet that the SEC withdrawing its lawsuits before summary judgment potentially undermines the presiding judge. A follow-up tweet noted that a delay in the verdict would bolster the argument that public relations influenced the judge's decision and that it would lead to more confusion. So this makes sense. The SEC initiated its precedent-setting suit against Ripple, and CEO Brad Garlinghouse, who's the CEO of Ripple, which Ripple is XRP, essentially. There's some differences there, but they're within the same group. And Chairman Chris Larson, in the last quarter of 2020, the allegation raising north of $1.2 billion from 2013 via the unlicensed sale of the alleged security. The XRP community was recently in an uproar after the infamous William Hinman materials were released to the public. Ripple's counsel argued that Hinman's speech in 2018, where he reportedly said that Ether, the native token of Ethereum blockchain, was not a security, fostered confusion, leading market participants, including Ripple, to believe that XRP was not a security. So there's a lot tied into this. Is a very complex situation. Also, legal legislation in, governments and countries as large as the U.S., it's a slow-moving process, and they want to rely on legal precedents from the past. But one of the things that the securities argument is based on right now, a lot of the legal precedents regarding securities is based on something back from 1933. But you know what was not around in 1933? the internet, computers, electricity was still somewhat in its early stages. Not every home in America, or at least, over 95 or, more percent of homes in America probably were still, was not at the stage where everybody had electricity. And we're arguing securities based on digital assets, which are, digital assets is entirely rooted in the idea of having electricity, right? Because digital transmission, electricity, come with me. So we're basing a lot of these speculative sort of legislation from, centuries past. Think about it. This was last century on innovation and technology that is in today that they could not have even considered back then. And the reality, if I were to argue my point here, my opinion, it would be, I get their argument with the how we test and all this nonsense, trying to tie it into digital assets. But what's the truth of it is, we need to have better educated politicians. No, we need to have a new digital asset sector, because there are, and I will agree, there are some digital assets that were probably a lot of the current altcoins likely were securities when they initially were offered in ICOs based on the way securities laws are written. And I can understand that. But once they get to the secondary market and they're being becoming more decentralized, as well as secondary market sales, meaning you're not buying it from the ICO. I'm buying it from Steve or Frank or Holly or, Lisa, after they bought it from a ICO. And now this, the governing body or the central authority that is starting it, the promise is already being acted on. Having the assets being, the protocols being developed out, and now you have the decentralized on nodes. It gets to that, as the Hyman documents talk about, being efficiently, or what's the word I'm looking for? Necessarily decentralized, or basically getting to another sort of mile marker, not having a central authority doing all the marketing, doing funding development. It's like once it gets necessarily decentralized, then it's no longer a security. I hope that's kind of the area we go to. But we also have to think about this. So we had the positive news. You can't only look at the positive side of things. You got to look at both sides of all this stuff. Ripple versus SEC. Law veteran thinks settlement is unlikely. Here's why. Let's go ahead and look into this. Fegel responded. See, this is talking about the same person too. Two different news articles talking about similar sort of responses on Twitter, and two different sort of approaches here to what the narrative is. This is why you need to provide yourself with multiple different news articles, multiple different charts, multiple different people, multiple different bubbles. You can't live in a bubble, or you will absolutely just donate all your money to somebody else who's looking in many different places, so you can get a sort of well-considered view that is taking into account a lot of different viewpoints. Fagel responded by stating that while settlement would not establish legal precedent, it could potentially have significant implications. This is what I was talking about and how it could affect what's going on with the Coinbase case. However, he expressed doubts about the likelihood of a settlement, noting that if one were to occur, it would probably have happened already. Fagel further mentioned that the impact of an injunction on future XRP sales remains contentious issue. So not everything it just means because there's something going to happen. It doesn't mean XRP is actually absolutely going to moon. There's so many different pathways that this could take. There could be, I don't want to go into all the different pathways. There's so many different pathways that this could take, whether it be super positive, super negative in terms of the immediate, 1 month to 3 year sort of time frame in terms of what's going to happen with price action based on what this judgment is or settlement. We need to be prepared and hedge ourselves. Now, coming to this next article, we're talking about all these things with regulation. And this is one of the things we saw Binance exiting the UK, but creating regulatory clarity. The countries learning from the US's mistakes. And we can also lump some of the European countries into this too, because we're trying so hard to control. We're supposed to be leaders of the free world, right? Well, let's just be honest. We're not in the free world anymore. We haven't been for about probably 55 years. I think the world became free shortly after, especially in the US, shortly after World War II. Probably had a little bit of a boom there in terms of being free, but I will also hesitate to say that fully, because that was also before the civil rights movement and women's suffrage and all these sorts of things. So it's always going to be more free for some people and less free for others, as it is right now, where we get to where we're at into 2023. We're not living in this free society that our Constitution was supposed to support. And they're trying so hard to control the flow of money rather than empower people's ability to have freedom and let that run in tandem with the US dollar. So with US crypto regulation coming under fire for the lack of clarity, other countries are moving to settle the statues. My back is, I feel like, there we go. The statues. Let me go ahead and rewind myself. With U.S. crypto regulation coming under fire for the lack of clarity, other countries are moving to settle the status of different crypto assets. So it's going down here. Criticism of the SEC's recent actions rests on the fact that should it win its lawsuits, the agency will have massively curtailed the abilities to trade cryptocurrency. And what's coming up in July? We have FedNow coming up, the sort of pilot program, or the initial rollout of the digital dollar, the CBDC. I guarantee what they'll probably do, because there's already backlash against this whole CBDC. I guarantee that a rebranding is coming, or a move away from ever using that term, and they'll probably call it, maybe just FedNow, or maybe they'll try to get away from the narrative, but the underlying asset will be exactly the same thing. But they want control. So we see already major exchanges are on the back foot. Binance has suspended USD deposits and crypto to dollar swaps. And the firm narrowly avoided a total shutdown by agreeing on a deal to avoid having its assets frozen. This is what we were talking about last week with that injunction that the SEC was trying to freeze our assets, which is absolutely stupid, but whatever. Meanwhile, the likes of Robinhood, eToro, and Bakkt have swiftly delisted tokens. They listed a lot of tokens, and namely named in the, so basically they delisted tokens named in the SEC lawsuits. And until a degree of regulatory clarity is achieved, it seems likely that such restrictions will remain in place. This is just so much going on. So we see Indonesian regulator approves list of tradable cryptocurrencies. So earlier this month, blah, 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 we see all this. The regulators move to enshrine the legality of crypto trading boosts Indonesia's credentials as a crypto-friendly nation. So Brazil also passing laws making central bank crypto regulator. So now this is kind of what we need. We don't not need regulation in the US. We need meaningful regulation that has something to do with not only protecting America's power. We need regulation that protects the individual, the sovereignty of an individual to control the money in their lives, control the resources in their lives, and also protect them from bad actors. We need that. We don't need the government's oversight on every single dollar we spend and where it went. We have digital means to do that now, to where somebody doesn't need to know if I sent $42 to Linda or $106 to my friend Frank. We don't need that. We need meaningful and empowering regulation to protect us from the scams that are out there. But the U.S. government's just flopping on this. But we see Brazil creating an actual central bank regulator for crypto. Awesome. CVM crypto regulations lay the groundwork for securities tokens in the market. So we're seeing this. We're seeing this in sovereignty, other nation states around the world. Now, this is where we're getting into the meat of what we're talking about today, because this is going to impact price action and help us give some sort of indication of where price may be going. Sorry, I just need to stretch. Oh, there we go. The reason I'm sitting down now, by the way, Because if I stand up, I have to look so far down to my computer, and I can do this. It's kind of line of sight, but sitting down at this stream kills my back. So this is what we really want to talk about today. The SEC is here to protect us. Protect us from what? Our freedom? Yeah. Roy Parsons, great show. I appreciate it. Join the community. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. We're about to break down some charts, and we're going to break down some TA. We're going to break down some on-chain. We're going to really talk about the things that are going to impact what's going on moving forward in the price action. Okay, mute button works well, doesn't it? So before we do that, make sure you're coming over here. Give me a follow. Make sure you're following the correct one. There's so many impersonators out there for me. At Kelly Kellam, Kellykellam. There's only one of me. And then make sure you're coming over here to BitLab Academy, which is at Academy BitLab. You see that right there? Hit that follow button. Hit this retweet. Hit this like button. You get entered to win. Maybe we'll give away money again this week. I haven't decided yet, but this is how you get entered to win, is hit this retweet, hit this like button. Now, one of the things I want to talk about is this right here from Mustache. And let me know, come to this tweet and let me know what you're thinking in the comments down below on this. And this is what's known as Wyckoff method. There's Wyckoff accumulation and there's Wyckoff distribution. So let's go ahead and zoom this in. Let's look at what this looks. This is actually something I believe late 1800s Wyckoff. I believe it's from the late 1800s. Let's see. But it's from forever ago. It's like, it's incredible. It doesn't really matter. But what I want to show you is this is a method. This is basically a chart pattern formation for full cycles, where we have not only the full cycle, but you have these accumulation periods right here. We have these distribution periods, meaning the top people that accumulated here, they're distributing, they're getting rid of, smart money's getting rid of, and they're using this volatility to push it up, get the best price to sell, sells off. Push it up, get the best price, sell off. And it has this sort of pattern. And we see this right here. You see this sort of breakdown. Now, we can see this not only on an accumulation, there's specific ones, but we also see this whole thing playing out here, where we have this accumulation period. We have the markup period. We have this basically distribution. This is basically mini market cycle in play right here. Distribution period. This is, or you can call it accumulation for short positions, but it's a distribution. Comes down. This is right here. Breaks down. And then we have this inverse head and shoulders. See this? It is actually not mini. This is, just so you know, this goes all the way back to May 2021. May 2021. This is a $69,000 top. And we come down, we have this inverse head and shoulders right here. This is this box period. And we have this push up right here. And this is the area everybody's fighting over. And by the way, nobody's right. Everybody telling you they have an idea which direction it's going. It's a speculation, because we cannot know the future. We can only look at the data that the chart is providing us. And everybody interprets the data differently. So if you think, I'm going to put a poll in right now. By the way, if you haven't yet, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ding the bell. We got 237 people in the room, 123 likes. So about half of you are participating in this content that we're putting out for free. Hit that like button. It lets YouTube know that you like crypto content. It helps the entire crypto ecosystem. Let me go ahead and close this poll. I'm going to put a poll in right now. I want you all to vote on this poll. Start a poll. Are you, what I'm talking about is basically over the next 2 months. Are you a bull or bear? By that, I mean bull. It's basically going to hold above 24. It may dip, but it's going to hold above 24 and up from here. Or are you a bear? Are you a bear? It's going to may chop around here, but it's going to lose 24 and go down. You let me know. I want to see what the sort of temperature of everybody in the room is right now. So now looking at this chart formation would indicate that this is that $24,000 to $25,000 level that we've been talking about so much. That is this level. If we zoom out, let's go to the daily. That's this level right here. This is that level right here. So we got basically 24,600 to 25,000. This level right here. We can see this. It's this level right here. Look at this. As scared as a lot of people want to be, looking at this, all this looks like, if you're not worried about bull or bear, we can see over 2 months, Karen Swigert Harris, all this is look at this. This pushed up, it came down, retested this level. This pushed up, it's coming down, retesting this level. So there is a case for the bulls, regardless of everything going on. When we're looking at the chart, all this is done right now, as scary as this has been, and we see all this terrible news. If you think about it, all this terrible news, the only thing it did was it brought price right back to where we would have expected it to come anyway, because that's what you see in price action on charts. Look at this. Breakdown, push up. Oh my God, it's over. All it did, look at this. It retested this level. You see this? But we get two different versions of this. If the things are bullish, this is what's going to happen, and it could chop sideways, but it's going to hold this level and go up. But we also see this push up right here. We see this came down. What did it test? Test right here, and then came up and rejected at this low and then came down. So the question here is, on this push up right here, are we going to reject at these lows, which is just above us, basically almost where we're at now? Are we going to reject here and can come down, or is this testing these highs and we're going to go up? Well, let's look at a news story that there's two different news stories that can highlight a bullish and a bearish case. So looking right here, Bitcoin miners rushing to exchanges. This kind of, you seeing this headline is worrisome. Like, what does this mean? If coins are moving in droves from any sort of institutional players or the majority of the retail market, but also miners have a pretty good pulse on what's happening in the market, because they're tied in. They're tied in pretty heavily with what's going on in the market, because their profits and their sustainability in terms of being around depends on them understanding what's happening in the market. In this case, we could see right here, this blockchain analyst, hold on, Bitcoin miners transferred more Bitcoin to exchanges over the past week than at any point in the past 5 years. This is a little worrisome, according to data on Glassnode. So what this is showing here is, this is just basically, you see Bitcoin miners to exchange flow. So this is Bitcoin miners from their private holdings, from their identified wallet addresses, which these on-chain data providers have done a good job of identifying a lot of the miners' wallet addresses. And we can see when they're coming onto exchange, meaning they're coming out of their wallets and putting it on exchange. And we're seeing, look at this, all these right here, boom, boom, boom. This is basically front running as this price rounding happening right here. And then we get a large sell-off. Now, what happened right here? What do you remember happened right here? This is the Bitcoin mining ban in China. So this was indicating something was going on right here. And if they come onto exchange, doesn't mean they dump immediately, but you can see this sort of boom, boom, up and down volatility. A lot of miners selling, and then, a lot of people selling right here, especially as we got this secondary high. Where is this? I can show you on the chart. This is right here. We've talked about this a lot on this channel. If you don't know, it's over, but we're getting less and less momentum to the upside. We see huge momentum, smaller momentum, smaller momentum, smaller momentum. Now this one can't even come to the previous high, and we have a new low and a lower high. So this is indicating right here we're likely, breaking down, and we get a bit of a triple top right here. I mean, all the indications were here, and that wasn't even looking at the on-chain data or other divergences or anything. Price action alone, and then we see the on-chain data. Miners are moving their coins onto exchange, and we get this large sell-off. So is there something in the cards? Is something coming up? I don't know. It does give me hesitation in the charts when I'm looking at this. Although this is a bullish price action, this is a bullish formation with price action in a falling channel like this. But you know, now we're getting rejected at this level here. Are we going to get a washout to the downside, like a spring, a Wyckoff spring, and then moonshot, or is this going to fall and actually test coming down to, you know, really test our patience and our test the bulls by this coming down and testing these lower regions? Remember, we also have a CME gap down here as well. So CME gap's all the way down here at about 20. I think it's right in this region right here. Are we going to go down and fill that? Well, I don't know, but we're seeing that miners are moving. Yeah, they're moving a lot of Bitcoin on. You know, they're moving a lot of Bitcoin out of their wallets onto exchange. So we just need to pay attention to that. Now, if we come to this next story, at the same time, look at this. I'm talking about uncertainty shaking the market right now. Institutional buying frenzy ignited. Grayscale Bitcoin trust soars amid BlackRock ETF surge. So is this just an independent sort of thing separately? Because we're seeing a lot of this movement in the news about BlackRock. BlackRock, any financial institution in the world that's worth their salt is going to have news about BlackRock on their sort of, you know, their watch list. And so when you see the largest assets under management financial institution in the world looking very seriously, not only looking, but they have an application in with the SEC or with the, you know, for an ETF. It's just talk about good press in terms of towards financial facing institutions. So is this going to be something that is an outlier from the people that actually have their pulse on the market and seeing miners rushing to exchanges? Well, we've got to sort of look at both. We've got to protect our capital right now still until we get that defined trend. What do I mean by defined trend? Let's come back over here, come back to my page. If you haven't looked at this yet, you got to look at it. It's my pinned tweet. This shows you smart money buying, hype cycle buying. This is people that are telling you that you're dumb down here for buying, but up here like, oh yeah, man, I'm getting into crypto. And then they say, oh, it's a scam. No, it's not. You bought when you're an idiot you bought because you saw it on the news all the time and you heard your friend made a lot of money. So now you buy. If your friend made a lot of money, then you already missed that cycle move. You need to buy when everybody tells you you're an idiot and you're scared out of your mind. And I'm not telling you to do that. This is strategy advice, not financial advice. The point being is when you're seeing things fall and you're seeing fundamental developments and you see that you're under certain key levels that we talk about at length in BitLab Academy. We also talk about it here, but seeing some certain metrics with price being under long-term holder realized price, with the MVRV score showing down in the green, showing the reserve risk, identifying that there's an asymmetrical risk to reward setup. That's when you buy. You ignore all the other news narratives and you say, things are looking like it's scary for everybody else, so that means I see opportunity. Now, what I'm talking about having a defined trend is this right here. We want to see the push-up breakout, which I think this is kind of where we're at right now, where we've had this breakout and we're testing back to really, really test that narrative. So I think we're somewhere in this region here. So we really want, because there's so much uncertainty in global markets, we really want to get that next push up and break this level. We really want to break that $31,000 level. What does that mean? Where is my chart? Don't tell me I closed. Okay. It's this level right here. Because look at this gate. Price action can be a gate sometimes. You see this right here? We broke this level. We're coming back and testing it. The true definition of us, moving up, and there's two caveats here, is breaking this level here, because look at all this price memory. What do I mean by that? Price memory here. Look at all this price memory circling this area right here. This was the floor before we lost it right here. This was a bounce, 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 bounce right above it, bounce right above it, bounce right above it. You know, there's so much price memory at this level, but we also have to realize that we are pre-halving. Halving's going to be somewhere, let's just do middle of middle of April. Option V, price action. Sorry, the halving's going to be somewhere about right there, based on the 210,000 blocks, the pseudo 4-year cycle. And so what's likely to happen if we do get some bullish support and bullish, any positive news or cases dismissed from the SEC or any sort of bombshell good news, then, we likely will test, up into the $39,000 to $44,000 region, somewhere in this region. But very, very, very strong likelihood, if that happens, that we are going to get a sell-off into the halving and then, then continue up like this. Okay. But if we don't get that, then we likely could push down here, chop. We could, chop in this region, test back up, like this, and then still post halving, get that move up. So there's a lot of things at play here. We just need to protect ourselves. This is the most important thing we need to pay attention to, is the halving. If this pushes up and then you're excited and you buy at this top and you see it dropping, that's not the time to capitulate, because we're coming into this halving. This means if this, if we have some sort of push up and it does sell off, and you let your emotions get the best of you, which all of us do at some point. Indie rock crypto, have you been watering your money plant? No. My wife and I have basically, we've remained best friends, but we basically have effectively separated. I left her with all of our stuff is there in New York. So it's an expensive couple weeks for me moving down here, and I basically have to buy all new everything. I left her, I left her set up with everything to make it easy, and I'm getting all new stuff here. So I will get a new money plant though. Maybe that's why. I'll have to ask her to water it. Maybe that's why the market's going flat. Point being is, if you buy emotionally up here and it does drop, look at this entire period right here as thank you, 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 meaning lower prices. And you can identify when we're coming down. And what you can do here, if this does happen, is say you get to this level right here, $39,000. What you would do here is you take this move right here, Option F or Alt F if you're on PC, then you click, you drag this up to this zone. See this zone right here? This is where we're at, $39,000. We're pretending the price gets to this zone. If this starts dropping, then what you want to do, and look at this, you see this golden pocket right here? We zoom in on this golden pocket right here. Then I would be front running this, and I would look at probably anywhere in this region as this price is dropping. I would start my DCAing front running the top here, right here, because it's not guaranteed this is going to come all the way down to the golden pocket. If I bought here and this was dropping, and even if I didn't buy here and I was trying to look for the best opportunity to get as much as I can before this parabola starts after the halving, what I would do is I would look at this. This obviously is a very important level. I would start pretty hefty DCAing anywhere in this region right here. Just boom, 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 boom. Likely wash out down to the golden pocket. Doesn't have to happen. This is a very strong level. So it wouldn't surprise me if this price came down and bounced at this 382 level or just below it, where all this price action, all this price memory is. Because if we turn on the VPVR, do I have that on? Let's go to... So we see if this pushes up, our shelf is right here, right at this level. What do I mean by shelf? This is the growth size. I don't want to do that. But you can see no volume here, and then we have the shelf right here. So if this were to come down, there's a high likelihood it very well could bounce in this region above the golden pocket. So I wouldn't want to wait until it only got down to there. That's why you ladder your entries, and you just do, just above the 382, just below the 382, right at the 0.5, and then your final one down at the golden pocket. And then after that, no matter what else happens, it doesn't matter. Even if it drops below that, you still know the halving's coming in. Not only is a halving coming in, that means there's going to be less supply available, which intrinsically makes the demand, the impact of demand go up. So understanding what's happening in these charts gives you a great deal of ability to navigate the market and have confidence, even if the price goes lower than levels than you wanted. You can just be patient. So question from Crypto Kid, how long after the halving will we see a potential pump? I mean, there's no way to tell, but if we come back here, we have this chart here. This is a crazy man chart. Sorry about that. But this is crazy. This, by the way, this was just an experimental chart I made back here. And I put any 2 points. I did raise out. I made, I touched any 2 points, made raise out in all directions. And it's just crazy. I did this, back in here. And we can see, look at this. From all these rays that I made back here, bounced here, got rejected here, came down on this line, came back up, rejected right at this. It's hard to see because I have it somewhat. But look at this. Trading in this channel, comes up, gets rejected, back to this channel, comes up, finds support up here. I mean, it's just ridiculous. This was an experimental chart. I don't trade with this. I just wanted to see how far out things would project. So this is a chart I wanted to show. Now we're going to look at the 3-day. So come here. If you go to indicators and you type in halving, Bitcoin halving past dates, see that? You can put a star by it, then it'll just be in your list of favorites. You go like this and you can see, boom. Now this was very quickly after. This was the first one. It's going to be a lot more volatile very quickly. This was about a month. Now this one, we had a sell-off, push up and a sell-off into it that continued, right? And then it really started kicking off, I would say, once we broke this high. So this one would have been, about 150 days. So in this period around the halving, if you're getting a strong push up into it, I don't buy large green candles. If I'm getting a strong push up into it, I'm waiting for a little bit of a retracement. That's my strategy, because I don't want to buy here. I don't want to buy here. I don't want to buy here. I want to buy here. And even here was good, even though we had this global catastrophe right here. This is March 2020, the global economic shutdown. When you have price falling, for instance, you go like this, option F from the bottom to the top. When this came down in this zone, once it broke below the 0.5, and you see this right here, once we're breaking below this 0.5, this push up, I'm looking for entries anywhere in this zone. Not only that, we have a little bit of an inverse head and shoulders right here, basically, but we're also coming right into the golden pocket. So this was anywhere in this region was a great buy. Now, did this scare the hell out of people? Yes. Some people made great buys here and then capitulated below here only to rebuy back up here. And don't do that nonsense. Have strategy. Trust your strategy in the data in the charts. When you have something like a global economic shutdown, think about how long the global economy is going to be turned off. Not very long. Okay? They have to have the economy otherwise to continue moving forward as humanity. So this scared everybody out. They sold, but V-shaped bottom right back up. So when you buy in something like this, and then you have a global economic shutdown that scares everybody, this is scary. Tap into your emotions, and then this drops. I mean, buying in this region, I was buying right about here. Okay, I didn't buy the red candle. I saw a little bit of a bounce. It said this is going to be a V-shaped recovery, bought in this region right here. So then I had this position and a lower position. Take advantage of the fear of others. As crazy as that sounds, because we all should be compassionate and loving and want everybody empathetic. But when you are in the market, when you are trading, when you are engaging and doing stuff to buy or sell or protect your capital or expand how much capital you have to be agnostic to the empathy for anybody else. What you need to do, and it doesn't mean that you're not empathetic and you don't love other people. When you are looking at candles on a chart, when you are trading, when you are making a buy or sell decision, you are looking at the data and trying to predict what other people in the market are going to do. They make a decision to buy or sell. That is on them. Just like it's on you. If you buy something and it drops, that is your poor decision making if you're buying a market top. But if you're buying something here and it drops, then you know, in this case, you're coming into support. Is it your strategy to buy or sell fear? I buy fear. I sell greed. So let's go ahead and look at where we're at today. We got a bunch of TA we're going to do. Turbo TA at its finest. Let's go ahead and turn off the mesopic vision. Let's come back to the BitGet chart. Where are we at? Here we are. So we're kind of in this range right here. Look at this. We've got these two projected ranges. We're going to be doing some turbo TA today. Yeah. So we're seeing we're in this range. This is, you know, not looking incredibly good or bad because we're in this range. We have the level directly above us. I'm looking at this sort of point right here where these two meet. And this is June 21st because I'm on the 4-hour chart. So this is tomorrow. So are we going to come up into this anywhere? I'm not suggesting that this means we're going to come up into this. There's just a confluence of signals landing right here. And this is at $27,000. $27,000 is just short of this sort of local high we have right before this time period, you know, not far back, but we're getting a lot. Look at this. We had bullish bearish sort of signals here on the hidden volume, but now it's bullish, no bearish divergences yet on the hidden volume. So there's interest coming in, and then look at the relative extrema coming down right here significantly. And look at this gray area. This was red, and it's just been gray. This is suggesting the momentum indicators, nothing's oversold. Sorry, nothing's overbought right now. We're getting bullishness coming in. We're looking at the 1 hour, 4 hour. Let's look at the 1 hour. Looking a little weaker here. But as it stands right now, I'm still looking in the zone. I'm looking right above us, $27,000, and right below us, this level here first, 25.8, and right below us, 25.5. These are the three areas that I'm looking most specifically at. If we drop down to this zone here, I do think it's likely we will come down to the 24.6. Now, let's do Ethereum. Okay, looking at Ethereum, looking a little weaker because we were trading sideways and we've lost. I mean, we had this falling, but in this period right here, this is pretty much sideways. We've lost this level. We do have a bit of it's not an inverse head and shoulders, but you know, consolidation, big drop, another consolidation, but this has an M formation in it with, look at this high, lower high, and this has not been able to take over this sort of region here. This is, to me, looking relatively weak. And if we look at the hidden volume, we're getting bearish divergences as well. And all this blue support has now gone to neutral and overheated and back to neutral. This is looking weak to me for Ethereum. We got this sort of zone right here, descending. I'd be looking for another leg down on Ethereum. Although we have the relative extrema trying to show, you know, lack of bearish support here, you know, or bearish pressure, I would dismiss this because we're having bearish divergence on the hidden volume. If we turn on market intelligence, let's look at this. Yeah, we're getting, yeah. So 3 bearish divergences, only 1 that's a relative extrema, which I'm kind of dismissing because this is just looking weak. This is M formation. I'm looking for likely drop down. Likely drop down, retest this level here, 1660, and then likely back down to a little lower, 1620 or so. That's what I'm seeing on Ethereum. Now, let's go back to the BitGet chart, leave my chart as it was. Now we're going to come over to ADA. Look at this. We had this volume order block, came down, sliced right through it and lost it. And look at this, now acted as resistance. So let's go ahead and turn off the mesopic. We have a massively overhauled indicators coming for everybody here. I think you all are going to love the upgrades and changes and a little bit of consolidation and things into, rather than having all this, it's going to be consolidated into single candle indicator here with multiple things within it, and then one sort of window on the bottom with the multi indicator sort of integration. I think you're all going to really like it. And that everybody that has the BitLab trading stack will continue to have that. It's going to be a big change coming here in about a month and a half, 2 months. So 88 looking, man. So we're getting the sell off. That's a daily. Well, let's go back to the, there we go. So what did I say right here? I drew this when it was right here, that this was rounding out. I thought it would be lost again, and that's what we got. Now, Cardano is hard to say because they're having updates come out, but it's the securities thing is really freaking everybody out. Let's go back to a cleaner chart. This is why it pays to have multiple charts, so you can kind of go between multiple charts quickly with different looks and different, where is it? Okay, so what did I say when we were up here? It's likely going to come down and touch this level. What did it do? Came down and touched this level. So let's go ahead and turn off the market intelligence. Let's go to the 12-hour. So it did come down. It touched this. It actually got a lower low from this point. You see this? But now the concerning thing, if we look at this, we've got this sort of triangle formation here. Option T gives us, looks very much like a bear pennant. If this were to take place, this would be, I don't think this is going to play out entirely, but if this were to take place, look at this. This would take us down to 16, basically about 17 cents, which is from here, you sacre bleu. So this would be another 36%, 35% down from here. This is a candle pattern because it's a flag stick and then a bit of a bear pennant right there. Will that play out? I don't know. We don't know. But what we can see right here is we have option J. Why is this not working? There we go. We have this sort of level right here. So if this were to fall, I would expect that this would likely have some interaction right here, basically the 20-cent mark. So 20 cents is kind of where I'm looking for Cardano. This sort of region, let me kind of put a block here. This sort of region here. This sort of region here, I'd probably start, I'm not saying you, I would probably start stacking up here. And then what I would do is based on the velocity and the momentum, meaning how fast this comes down. Like for instance, this is very fast velocity up. You see this? This is slow velocity down and then fast, slow, fast. If this comes down and slices through this level, then I'll be looking at these levels here, down here at the 15-cent mark. This is a strong possibility as well, because of everything going on with the security stuff. So we're going to go ahead and put a block there. Now we see that. Now, if this does hold here and pushes up, the first thing I'm going to be looking at, we're going to go like this, do a Fibonacci from this top here to the bottom. If we start pushing up, we get a lot of movement up. Don't just ape in because it's going up. Watch for this level right here at the 32-cent mark. This 32-cent mark is a golden pocket. This very likely can have a relief rally up, bull trap, and reverse back down and then hit these lows. So when this comes up, and if you start seeing the price rounding and consolidating and getting in the consolidation, having a lower high in this little mini market cycle from the low, high, down to a new low, if you start seeing those formations play out, this would be a good opportunity to de-risk a little bit or to short to take advantage of this move, from, why is my shift button not working? Then you have a 35%, 40% move from there, or continue, 52% if it does push up and get rejected to 786. So we just want to pay attention to these things. Now let's come to, we'll do Bitcoin because that was one of the ones that was in the list that you all had mentioned about. Ben, I see him behind closed doors, by the way. They are working so hard. It's all focused on how do we bring more value to the community, incentivize people to participate. For those that don't know, Ben can't really make any money on this. He's actually losing money because of the time he's spending on all this. Now, what I would say on this is, okay, we've got our low here, sort of low region, option J, the hell? Option J. There we go. Now we got a lot of stuff here. We're going to do this option J because you see these rejections. We see this rejection. Now what we can say here is we're looking for a bit of a formation. So this is kind of in midst of attempting a breakout right now. So yeah, what I would say here, option F or Alt F. Golden pocket all the way up here at 20, what, you know, whatever, 2014 or whatever. If we looked at the measurement there, I mean, that's a 270% gain just to the golden pocket. Now, given this is a young coin, this is, you know, a lot of stuff going on in the markets. This held relatively well through all the altcoin sort of crush from all the security stuff. And this is kind of holding well. If we lose this level though, you know, you have to be prepared both directions. I hold quite a bit of, not quite a bit. I hold several $1,000s worth of Ben coin, which for me is all free money because I took my initial investment out as soon as it basically, you know, I took some profits in this region here and then reinvested it back into Bitcoin. And so now where I'm at here, I reinvested kind of in this region here, somewhere in here. I don't remember specifically where. So it's all house money that's in this. So I'm just going to be letting it be. And if this comes down and is lost, then, you know, there's no telling what could happen, but it's a long-term adoption play for me. But this was trending recently on a couple different things. So a couple different market cap listings and other stuff. So I know there's, I don't know what they are. I try to stay out of having inside information, but I just know that they're doing a lot of meetings with a lot of really big players and a lot of, so I'm just excited about it. Now let's look at XRP. Where's my XRP? I don't know what this line was, but let's go ahead and delete that. Okay, well, let's go to the 12-hour. Okay, there's a lot riding on the speculation about what's happening in this case right now because of all those stories we were talking about earlier. So it looks like, let me go ahead and make this a little darker. Sacre bleu. There we go. Yeah, this is, I mean, got a little bit of an M formation here, lower high. Is this trying to, you know, come back down and test this zone down here, 38 cents? Me, I would be, this is an area I'd be very interested in. You know, we could put a box there. Make it green so we could see it. I'd be interested in this if this came down to this level. If this lost, you know, in this case, what I would do, you could put a bit of a stop loss. Let me see. It's not what I want to do. Yeah, in this case, I put a very sort of liberal stop loss. You know, kind of a little bit below this. Like at this low, it's like a 10% loss. But if this is coming down and losing this level, let's go to the day. If this is losing this level, it's likely coming, you know, come on, sucker. BPVR buy. You know, it's not even the whole thing. It's like this would be quite the loss if it gets crushed. It could really get crushed. So yeah, but if it pops, it could really pop. So it's kind of a little bit of both here. This is, you could see the indecision with people trying to speculate into it before the judgment, if it's going to be good or bad. So yeah, I if this dropped down to here, not because the judgment comes out and it's negative for XRP, just if this drops on speculation before that happens, this would be a good buy for me. If this drops to here and then loses this because it's a terrible judgment, then no, I'm not interested in XRP for quite some time until something changes in the legal landscape. We have to understand the context of what and why we are interested in certain things. So where's that list? File. Okay, Filecoin. Doing some Turbo TA. Okay, auto. Falling channel. Doesn't look so bad. Falling channel. Got some blue here. This is on the daily. Relative extrema, it's looking like it's probably going to test somewhere back in here, maybe even come back down because relative extrema is popping here, unless that sort of switches, which I don't really see happening. This is, yeah, look at this. This, as soon as it's bouncing, this is looking like it's likely going to probably test this side again. If this gets lost or just kind of peters down, we really want to watch for this level right here. There's a little bit lower of wick here, but we see the candle bounce. And this is also where the wick went down here, which is right at the $2.70 region. If we lose that, Filecoin loses that, then we could be, could be hurting for quite some time. So I'd be watching this. If this comes down and bounces here and comes back up, that'd be good. But as it stands right now, this is looking relatively weak. It's getting, look at this, rejected above the EMA ribbon, rejected in the middle of it, rejected in the middle of it, rejected at the bottom of the EMA ribbon. And so now, yeah, this is looking relatively weak. This is looking like we've talked about time and time again, which is the down, sideways, down, smaller sideways, likely down. If this does start pushing up, I'd be looking for this level right here, which is the bottom of these candles, and for a likely rejection, which is kind of, if this does work its way up here, it's kind of in line with where this the resistance level of this channel would be. So that's all I have time for today. I love you all. Make sure you're coming over to BitLab Academy. Check out all the stuff. Get involved. Join our Discord. Get involved in there, and make sure you're coming over to the BitLab Academy daily stream. Post here on Twitter, which is @AcademyBitLab. Look for that gold check and the hit logo. Hit this retweet. Hit this like button. Make sure everything's going well in your life by being grateful for it. Just show appreciation to the things you want there, and you get more of it. If your focus is always on what you don't have or the problems you're having, whatever you're focused on, you amplify. So focus on gratitude, focus on strategy, focus on winning, baby. And I love you all. I hope you all have a wonderful day. With that, I will bid you adieu. Adios, muchachos. Adios, muchachos. Hit that like button, sucker.